I wanted to start a family. I wanted to not be very old when I had my kids. I wanted to grow up with them. I wanted to be their friend. I mean, people used to make fun of so many things, There were so many things that used to come out. And that was silly of me because I didn't realize that if I'm helping them, I'm not helping myself. Why is Papa home? Why doesn't he go to work? And I didn't want to, and when I heard them say that, I didn't want to set a bad example for them.
Yeah.
I've been to parties earlier in my life when things were not right for me, and no one would give me that importance. This one woman just caught me and she wouldn't leave me. And I was like, how do I get out of here? Phas gaya tha. But, I couldn't even push her. I didn't know what to do. She caught me like for 2-3 minutes and I was just stuck over there. In the recent times, the kind of work I've done, obviously, like Ashram, I've never done such a bold character before. So, I was watching it with her and I didn't know how to even look at her.
Hello, I'm Sakshi Arora, and joining me today on Pinkvilla is the millennials' favorite, Bobby Deol. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Pinkvilla.
Thank you so much.
You are in the best phase of your career right now. Was this what you were praying for in the lowest of your moments?
I think every actor prays and hopes that he's always in a good phase in his life. And as an actor, definitely, I've been wanting and trying really hard to achieve something. I've not achieved it as yet completely, but I'm on the right track. I've been trying to break my image and do different kinds of characters. And luckily, I got the right kind of projects and I got the opportunity to showcase what I can do as an actor. And I'm glad because all my fans are accepting me as an actor who can play different roles, who can play different characters. Because earlier on when I started my career, I used to get fixed with one kind of an image and you couldn't break through from that. But times have changed and I'm glad that OTT platform has given me that opportunity to do different kinds of characters. So I'm really happy right now. But you're always nervous because you just want to keep working harder and getting interesting characters to play so you can keep challenging yourself as an actor.
When you became an actor in the beginning, what were the goals that you had set out for yourself that, this is the position that I want to reach?
I was too immature. My goal was nothing like what position I have to reach or what market I have to tap into. It was all about being an actor and being loved by your fans. So that meant to me was like the whole world. It didn't matter that these kind of people or that kind of people who watch those kind of movies would like me or not like me. I just wanted to do everything I could do as an actor. And I never thought about stardom to that level. I never even realized it when I started my career that I was such a big star at that point. Because I've seen my father. He's a legend. He's been in this industry for I don't know how many years now. And I've seen him being the superstar and then seeing him going through a bad phase and then again reviving. And I knew that being a star is something, it doesn't last forever. It was more about being accepted as an actor, which I realized later on in my career. When things were not going the right way for me, I realized that I need to do characters which will challenge me, and I'm not getting those opportunities. So it became frustrating for me, and that's where things went wrong in my career. But I'm just glad that because of OTT platform, storytelling has become even more vast.
When you became a star, you got married soon after.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, we used to hear stories that, actors were advised not to reveal that they are married or hide all those things. Did people advise you to at least delay your wedding or not tell the world that?
No, it was never like that. I never believed in all that.
But did people tell you to do that?
No. I used to hear stories about other actors not talking about getting married. Actors should not get married early in their life. The fan following goes down. But I never thought about that. I wanted to start a family. I wanted to not be very old when I had my kids. I wanted to grow up with them. I wanted to be their friend. Because I'm the youngest in my family and the age difference between me and my elder brother is quite a bit. And then obviously being the youngest, my dad is quite older than me. In the sense that I wanted to be close to my father. And I just couldn't, I used to miss that. So I decided that when I get married, I would like to have a child as soon as possible. Obviously, I couldn't have it straight away. I mean, you have to. That's the reason why. And I never really cared about all those things. I just wanted to be, because what are you working for? You work for your family.
Before social media came into the picture, the media was brutal and stars didn't have any platform to clarify whether the news is correct or not. How did you handle nasty rumors, nasty stories in the magazines, and how did it affect you?
See, thing is, anyone who speaks nasty about you, writes bad about you, or gives wrong information about you, it upsets you. But the best way to stop it from moving further is to not react to it. Because at that point, that was the best way to, approach something like that. And because if you react, then there will be another reaction from the person who's written that article, and then it'll keep on going on, And then everybody loves gossip. Why is social media so big? Because people love gossip. People love to hear about other people. They can speak anything about the other person, but they won't like anyone speaking about themselves. So these same people who can speak about others won't like it when they are spoken about. But I should just not react to things. I knew what I was. I knew the truth, and I was like, God is up there. He's watching on us, and if you're a good person, you'll always come out stronger from all this.
Yeah. But do you remember any piece of news that was completely heartbreaking for you and your family?
I mean, people used to make fun of so many things. There were so many things that used to come out. It happened to not just my family. It happened to all the families or actors in our industry, and it's sad. But then this is show business. People, who will they talk about? They won't talk about industrialists to that level. They won't talk about a doctor unless he goes wrong in an operation theatre or something. And they won't talk about anyone else because no one wants to hear about them. It is easy for people to talk about people who are from the film industry because you watch them, they entertain you, and you want to know about their lives.
In the olden days, people used to talk about how they have helped their friends by doing a film for them. Have you ever done films just for your relation? Even when you knew that this film might not work, but because you were emotional or you wanted good for that person, so you had a big heart and
I
did
mean,
it.
you end up doing things like that, There have been so many of my projects which I wouldn't have done otherwise, but because they were not even family or really close, but I just felt bad. And that was silly of me, because I didn't realize that if I'm helping them, I'm not helping myself. I'm spoiling my career. The only way I can help them is if I just keep, tell them that what you're trying to do is not right, and if I had that courage to do that at that time, they wouldn't have had such bad films that came out, So it is difficult. My dad has been doing that all his life, Those days were different. My dad has helped, I don't know, so many numerous people in his life. But those days, an actor could still come out of that. Because every actor did so many films in those years, in those times. They used to have 4, 5 releases every year. So if 1 or 2 didn't do well, the 3 did well, it was fine. But now it's not like that. I have never tried to, in my career, I've always tried to do the least amount of films, not because I want to do less work, it's because you can't give your best otherwise, And there also I went and did films which I sometimes felt I shouldn't have done, but I ended up doing it. Because then you have to start thinking you have to take care of your family, you have to work.
And also sometimes for the other people.
Yeah, sometimes for the other people. So these things happen. You can never have a perfect track record as an actor.
After all these years, have you learned to say no?
Yes, I have, kind of. But even then, sometimes your gut feelings confuses you. There's a gut feeling that every actor works on his gut instincts mostly. And if your gut instinct, you can be right or wrong sometimes. It's never going to guarantee you a hit film. But as long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I do it. And definitely sometimes I mean, more often now I say no when I don't like something, because I know what I've been through. And I know that I won't lose out on if I don't keep doing films all the time. I would, at least whatever I try to do, it'll just make me move forward. And that's the way I try to look at my career.
I was watching one of your interviews that made me very emotional because I'm very close to my dad, and you had mentioned that how you just wanted to work for your children, you just wanted to show them that I am doing well and I'm trying my best for them. And as much as it might be difficult for you, it might have been equally difficult for them to see their father like that, because fathers are the first hero of any child.
Yes.
Right? So how did your kids in that phase of your life, how did they come to support you emotionally or in any way?
See, my kids were very small at that point when I was going through that worst phase of my life, and they were so naive. I mean, they're still naive and innocent, but at that, when you're so young, they would notice things around in the house. Okay, bade papa, obviously he doesn't work so much. Tayaji is working. My our mother is working, but papa is always home. They were happy I was always there, and I got a lot of time to spend with them. But they still would wonder. I mean, it's like a normal thing. Why is Papa home? Why doesn't he go to work? And I didn't want to. And when I heard them say that, I didn't want to set a bad example for them, because my dad's always been working, and my brother, he's done really. I mean, he's also been a big star, and so I just wanted to not set an example which would make them not believe in themselves. I wanted to make them feel that you have to believe in yourself, and if you believe in yourself, you can achieve anything, because no matter how much your family loves you, it's you yourself who has to do something to move forward, and they know that. I'm very honest with my kids. I tell them what I feel, what I've been through, because I don't want to hide it from them. I don't want to have a facade where I don't tell them about life. It's not like I'm trying to scare them. I'm trying to let them understand that this is the reality of life, And we've been brought up in a very sheltered environment, so for us, it's always going to be not that easy to face the world outside, because with every decade, every generation, it's moving faster and faster. Everybody has to look after themselves, and it's become a ruthless world outside. It's not that they're trying to be ruthless, but that's just the way it is becoming. So that's how my kids understand. My older son, definitely, he's doing business management because I want him to study and not just think about being an actor. And he's good at his studies, so he's studying. And even my younger son, he's in the 11th standard, so he's studying. And I just want them to finish their education and then decide what they want to do. Obviously, they'll all want to be in the movie business, but I'll be really proud to see my kids, my sons on the big silver screen one day. But even then, even if they don't become that, even if they don't become actors, I'll still be proud of them.
First of all, thank you for being vulnerable, because as a man, many men, they just can't be vulnerable in front of people. So thank you for doing that, first of all.
No, that's just me. I don't know. I can't. I don't have any kind of a defense mechanism, or I don't play an act. I just am the way I am.
After all these successes as an actor, I'm sure that now when you go to events or in the public eye, people would be responding to you very differently versus the time when you were in your low phase. Do you see that difference yourself?
See, I've seen that happening to me throughout my career, but I never really took it so seriously, because I know I've seen my father going through all that. I've seen times when my dad would have so many people around him and suddenly there won't be many people around him. So I've never let that play on my mind. It does.
But it's very difficult.
It is difficult. Yeah. I've been through that. Yeah. I've been to parties earlier in my life when things were not right for me, and no one would give me that importance. But at that point, it affected me. But I think that made me stronger. I think that made me realize that nobody's yours. Everybody wants you when they need you. Everybody uses each other to move forward, So just work hard, because they need to use you one day, and things will change itself. And I think, creatively, people need to have the faith in you also, not just financial, box office, but also as an actor. And I think the most important thing I feel is an actor's inning is longer if they get recognized for their acting talent. And so I'm moving in that track, and I'm glad that people are noticing that, And I hope I can just keep living up to the expectations now, because definitely people expect a lot out of me. But things have changed now. Yes, people look at me differently. Again, they're interested in seeing me around. But my fans have always been nice to me, All these years, even when I wasn't working, they would still come up to me and, be affectionate. So I think my fans have always stood by me all these years. And I've made new fans now. So, it's just, it's really nice.
Let's talk about Soldier, Gup, Barsat and Humras. These are like your iconic films. Were you aware that these films would become such a huge hit when you were doing them? Of course, you were expecting them to be, but...
as I said, I was really young. I never thought about it in that sense. I don't know how to explain it to anyone. When people ask me, did you
Yeah.
think when you were a star, people used to go crazy about you. You must have had some fan moments. I never looked at it that way. I just was happy. Yes, other people would come and tell me your film is a big hit. And I would be happy. I mean, I never really looked into it that way.
And what about the crazy female fans, especially because you were known as like the most good-looking among your contemporaries? I know it's very cringy, but people used to describe you as so good-looking and all. So how did you deal with that kind of female fan following?
I'm a very shy person, and those days I was really more shy because I was very young. So I used to get embarrassed. I used to feel nice that all my fans are reacting to me in that way, but it would be embarrassing. But it's not their fault because as a fan myself, when I liked some actor or I liked some cricketer or something, I would be so excited to meet that person. So I can understand that excitement. That's what's important. I mean, that's what's so nice about being an actor, the love you get from people. And no other profession can give you that kind of a love and affection like how being an actor can. So it was nice. I mean, I remember once I went for some premiere in Pune, and this one woman just caught me and she wouldn't leave me. And I was like, how do I get out of here? Phas gaya tha. But, I couldn't even push her. I didn't know what to do. She caught me like for 2-3 minutes and I was just stuck over there. These kind of things happen. I think it happens to all the actors when they start their careers, or, when you are the talk of the town, and then that changes and then your work starts taking you forward. So it was nice.
And how did your wife react to all of this?
My wife knew I was an actor before she met me. So yes, it is difficult for a wife of an actor to see him being romantic, but on screen. But then my wife understands, she's mature, she knows that my husband's an actor, that's his profession, that's his job. And in the recent times, the kind of work I've done, obviously, I mean, like Ashram, I've never done such a bold character before. So, I mean, I was watching it with her, and I didn't know how to even look at her. But I knew, I mean, I had told her before I did the show that this is how it's going to be, and it's a character I'm playing, and the character has to do all these things, because that's what the character is. You can't, if it was just unnecessarily being done, then I wouldn't even do it. But as an actor, when you're playing a character, you have to live the character, so you have to do these kind of, whatever the character requires to be the way he has to be. So, but my kids, they all saw it, and they're proud of me. They just wanted people to appreciate their dad, because as I said, I'm very open with my kids, and I tell them how I feel and what I go through. I mean, first thing in the morning when my movie or my web series release, I don't like to look at reviews. And as soon as I get up, my kids, my wife, they're all going through their phones, seeing the reactions. And obviously the first few are never nice. And then slowly, as the day goes by, they become better and better. And then suddenly, I've been very lucky because 3 projects I did till now, and it was so positive, the response to 3 of my works. So it was really nice. Then what makes me happy is that because I'm happy, my family is happy. When you're sad, your family gets sad. And that's how it is, because we are so close to each other. And my brother, he wanted to throw a party for me after Love Hostel released, because he was so proud of me.
And he himself doesn't go to parties.
Yeah,
at
but
all.
obviously he was going to throw a party at
Yeah.
my house, but I was busy promoting it, so we couldn't do that. Then he put this lovely post for me on his Instagram, and so that's how we are.
Your story proves that good things do happen to good people, and even when people did not return you the favor, God did.
Yes, I think I believe in that, and I also believe that hard work turns into luck, and I think you should never give up in life. I think luck is always around the corner. You have to just keep working hard.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you so much.
Thanks. It was nice talking to you. Hi, this is Bobby Deol, and if you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Pinkvilla.